What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Animation Revaluation Podcast. I am your host, Lizer, and with me, as always, is Jay. What's up, Jay?
Yeah. What's good, bro?
And we have a guest here. It's my friend James. What's up, James?
Hey, Lizer.
What's up, man?
Pretty good. I'm really happy to be on here with you and Jay.
Nice. Glad to hear you're happy.
Glad to have you.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right. We're already out. Look at this. Already.
This is how you know we're friends. That Lizer guy, he's real toxic.
You're gonna get canceled in like 10 years.
Bro, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what I get canceled for. I'm gonna be like, oh, this is what you found? Alright, well, check this out.
Oh man. Sorry, guys,
Lizer almost dropped the N-word on a podcast once. Fuck off.
Almost doesn't mean he did. That's my job.
Bro, just because my model's white doesn't mean I'm not black.
True?
I'm black where it
That's
counts. My credit score.
I would have said the soul, but that works too.
Oh man. So how do we go for you guys?
I don't know. Is it week?
It was okay, I guess. I mean, it's not too bad. Could be better though. I've definitely had better, but you know, the only thing that made it better is just being on here.
Nice.
I get to be on here.
I see.
Making a highlight in someone's week already.
Exactly. Look, I'm a kind god.
Yes. God, Kawaii P. Morrison.
Yeah, there you go.
Kawaii P.
So we watched a little something this week. You want to talk about that, Jay?
Yes, sir. Well, simply put, we did a little bit of boxing.
Yeah.
Watched a little bit of boxing.
Yeah.
And to be more specific, Megalobox. Now, normally, you think, oh, it's just your traditional, boxing anime. But this one kind of had a little bit of a twist to it, which I really liked. I just don't remember what year it came out.
20.
I think it was 20. Was it? It must.
2018?
Damn.
That can't be 2018.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe
You
like
talking about like the
30
manga or the anime?
The anime.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Thank you, Google.
It kind of looks like if you put what's that one
2018.
other boxing anime?
2018.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing the trailer for this.
It is hard to place it though, because we watched together, me and Jay, and I kept saying this looks like it's from the 90s or 80s just because of the style.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's because it totally has Cowboy Bebop kind of aesthetics.
Yeah. I watched and thought of Astro Boy.
I think I just recently, when it came out, I recently rewatched Cowboy Bebop because I haven't seen it since it came out in the 90s, and I was like, oh, it's pretty similar, almost pretty cool, but kind of if you know the other boxing anime, was it Hajime no Ippo or something like that, but cyberpunk.
Yeah. So tell us about it, Jay.
All right. So we start off with our main character. He didn't actually have a name yet for him, at least not yet, but he had a ring name, which was Junk Dog. And basically what this kind of came from was that his gear wasn't in the greatest shape, or really like not top of the line or even kind of close to what other megaloboxers are actually wearing. It was like adhesive, adhesive tape with like it's just like a really thin like metallic frame. But we'll get to that in a second. Our um our main character, Junk Dog, is a fighter in an underground like fighting league, kind of. At least I know he was doing a lot of underground stuff. Basically, we got him going into these fights and basically making it look close, but basically throwing the fight like at the very end, thanks to his quote unquote, I put it in quotation marks, friend by the name of Gansaku Nanbu. And he is Junk Dog's partner. And Nanbu is very, I'd say, definitely in a hole for sure,
Yeah.
but not. I'd call him I'd say a con artist or your modern day like scammer, basically. But he basically makes his money off of how you rig fights and you make profit. But he's basically in a very huge amount of crippling debt. And so these two end up working together for we don't know how long they've been working together, but it's kind of recent. You know, you have just like, I don't know. It's not your typical relationship between two people. There's definitely some kind of like weird tension.
Like pure business, right?
Yeah, it's just like strictly business. Nothing really outside of work between the two of them.
Feel that.
But they end up basically doing this for quite a bit until they run into an issue of Junk Dog basically taking a kind of like he kind of like blindsided Nanbu at one point.
Nambu?
And Nanbu is the old man. He
Oh, that the scammer
the
guy. That's his
trainer.
name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nanbu's
okay.
he's Junk Dog's trainer in quotation marks.
I think when I watched it, like I, sorry if I interjected.
Oh, you're good.
When I watched it, I was like, I barely remembered his name. I think I just remember he was like, oh, he's Junk Dog Joe, and then like there was this coach, and then like I never even like, it's because I'm terrible with names, so but like Junk Dog Joe, it just kind of like rolls off the tongue, and then like his coach, and then it's just like this scrapper guy.
Because you normally hear Nambu be referred to as like Gramps or Old Man usually.
Yeah.
So his name isn't really thrown around as much.
The one who says his name the most is himself.
Yeah.
So how could this happen to me? Non-boom. I'm like,
Nanbu, he's like
I can only imagine like someone in actually like in life doing that. Like,
just talking
like,
in the third person all the time.
mm.
How could this happen
But
to me, Kawhi P. Morris?
we
oh my god, how could this happen? Damn, bad Kawhi P. Morrison. Bad.
but one of these fights, I believe, Junk Dog basically like knocks out someone he's not supposed to, and it messes up something for Nanbu. But you know, but Joe doesn't really know, at least for the long part of it. But after the fight, Nanbu's sitting across from a really like he's this guy was dressed really well. He's by the name of Fujimaki, and Fujimaki is a very big a very big head in like the underground megaloboxing scene. It's like a gambler basically.
Mafia leader.
Yeah, and what the strangest thing was that Nambu takes out, he throws these fights, and we find out that Nanbu is actually in debt to Fujimaki, and Fujimaki is like, "Oh, we got a lot of trouble, and you know, you owe me a huge amount of money." And Nanbu basically like bashes his head on like the metal edge of like a table in the kitchen, apologizing. I was just like, wow.
It's just a typical day for Kawhi B. Morrison.
Why? Why?
And Nanbu being I'd say pretty quick thinker, but not always the best person to kind of think things all the way through, suggested that he would enter um junk excuse me junk dog into a very big tournament. I forgot what it was called.
Was it? Let me guess. Just because my memory's kind of fuzzy. It's like I'm guessing it was like a tournament, kind of like well, I guess it's like any other tournament, especially like in any sports anime, where it's like, oh, there's like the guy. Since it's boxing, it's 1-on-1. So I'm like, oh, there's like this champion, undefeated, and then it's pretty much like he has to go from the bottom, and then, you know,
Yeah,
so it was like something like that.
Yeah,
it's the Megalo Championships.
Megalo. Yeah,
That's what it was called, right? It's like
It's something
the
similar to that.
Okay.
Megalonia.
Megalonia,
That's
hyperdimension
what it was.
Megalonia.
Oh. Megalonia, it's insane.
But from there on out, I guess Fujimaki kind of just gives Nanbu a break for specifically that reason. He won't come after him just yet. He wants to see how well or how far Nanbu and Junk Dog can actually make it in the Megalobox scene.
Yeah.
And they they get registered under a fake name. At least Junk Dog does. And
Oh yeah,
I
because
think
he's illegal, right?
yeah, you need an ID, like a legitimate ID to like sign up for Megalonia
Yeah, and he's not
or
like a
even register in the
citizen.
league. Yeah.
They kind of just skim over that. The fact that
Yeah.
he's like basically an illegal immigrant.
It's funny because we joked about that I joked about that this was actually just Mexico.
I mean,
and then there was like a kid selling oranges in front of
Yeah, and I
his
was
car windows, and he had like a cross hanging from his windshield. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
this
was like-
Mexico.
oh, okay.
I mean,
Nice.
what you see more is those little like toys with the bobblehead like chihuahuas or bobblehead like dogs. So it's like those you see like a dime a dozen over there. How about Jay? Sorry, I don't know if you did talk about it. How like I guess like the way that he boxes, like I guess like the thing that they put like on their like, well, at least from like the cover, like
Oh, that comes
where
later.
Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't show. Oh no! Oh,
They start off like he starts off wearing gear. I'll say that.
okay,
In most of his fights until a certain point.
okay.
But
Yeah, I'll put up a picture of it.
at,
with the gear on.
at this point in time, he had, Joe gets registered, and they
As a
start
sex
picking up
offender?
fights. Okay.
I
Oh.
kept thinking about it every time you said registered. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Are you actually sorry?
No.
That's what I thought.
Kawhi P. Morrison is never sorry.
There was something big that happened before he registered, though. Like, the reason he wants to register.
Right. Right. Thank you.
Some kind of troubled past that I will never say until later.
Well, he actually, I believe Joe went to go see, what's her face, or he was actually riding his motorcycle through the like, I don't even know what to call it. It was like a really big city, and then like a highway. It was like an incomplete highway.
Yeah, they said it
And I
wasn't
guess he,
finished being built yet.
yeah, and I guess he was like either he was spaced out, or fucking what's her face? I never can remember her name. I think it's just
Yukiko?
Shirado. Yeah, Yukiko Shirado. And she is the person that is hosting this big tournament, the Megalonia tournament. And she is the owner of Yuri.
The owner of Yuri?
Yeah.
Whoa, hey.
It's weird. It's weird how it's like, I know it's just strictly business, but Yuri replies to her like an actual animal,
Yeah.
and it gets touched on a little bit. But Yuri always just like refers to Yukiko as owner.
I
Never.
thought Yuri referred to like girl with girl.
That was funny. I had to think about that for a second. That was
Like,
funny.
there's complete silence from everyone. I was like, huh?
Damn.
I had to think about that one for a
I
second.
was
I
waiting
was
for
like,
my
wait,
opportunity to make a Yuri on Ice joke.
You guys weren't ready.
nah.
Oh my god. That's
And
what my mind went straight to. Because she's like, she owned Yuri. I was like, oh, she owns it? I gotta
So
meet
do
this.
but basically, she almost runs into Joe on his motorcycle, and basically, he swerves out the way, basically almost wrecks his bike again for the second time, and he gets up and like just starts blacking on her, like, which
Jesus.
I completely understand, because she
Yeah.
almost ran into him. It's not even him running into her. She wasn't watching where she was going. And you know how that kind of goes, and he was kind of just, she was like, hey, here's my card, if you need anything done with your bike, we'll pay for it. And Joe, being kind of like the ungrateful shit that he kind of is, was just like, no, fuck you, I don't need anything from you. And Yuri didn't take too kindly to that. And the first thing that kind of gave it away was, well, one, Yuri saw Joe's gear fall off of his bike. So Yuri already wanted like to know where kind of Joe was at. And they kind of square off for a little bit, and right before someone throws a punch, Yuri gets called. Joe makes a very smart remark about, Yuri basically being the dog. I found it kind of funny. I just don't remember what the line was. But he goes away. They go their
Yuri's
separate ways.
the boxer in the picture, right? That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? When I first saw him, I was like, man, it's gonna be like some white blonde Russian, He's gonna have the most Russian ass name. And then he's Yuri. Yuri.
Yeah, I think that's been a staple in boxing like media since Rocky.
I know. So I like this. I to this day I haven't seen Rocky, and like I imagine like this is Rocky, the anime.
Mecha Rocky.
Mecha Rocky.
It kind of is.
I just think Apollo, and I'm like, I don't even know what happened. I just know he died, and everybody was sad.
Ooh, spoilers.
Spoilers. It came out in like in the fucking what 60s?
You haven't seen it yet, so what if other people haven't seen it yet? What the fuck?
You've had 40 years to watch. No, what year is this? 21? Whatever, how many ever years plus? It'll be like 40, over 40 years. I'd say. I don't know. I don't know what time is.
But
Anyway.
before they go their separate ways, I believe Joe actually says something to Yuri, saying, "Yeah, you know, I can possibly fight on your stage. Why don't you fight me on mine?" And like I think it was like literally the next day, Joe gets put up for a match in the underground once again, and what do you know? Yuri pops up and gets in the ring. Nanbu's just like, I know who that is. Holy shit. You shouldn't do this. And everybody in the crowd was just like, bro, why is the champ here?
He's being a very sussy bucko.
Oh my god, I'm not inviting him back for another episode. he just strolled up to the ring in like a hoodie and like trackies. Like,
yeah.
Like, he like Eminem 8 Mile did up to the ring and just fucking threw down.
Another movie I still need to watch.
God damn it.
Really?
I know.
Oh my
I heard
god.
it's a good movie too. I never got around to it.
But they have their one-on-one session. And
Why do you have to say it like that?
They have a one-on-one
one-on-one with Yuri.
That's my
Yuri
favorite
implies
kind
two.
of one-on-one.
Yuri versus Yowie. The great debate.
I would watch the live adaptation of that. Anyways.
Yeah, we're just Yuri floors the fuck out of Joe in like the first round.
He does put up a good fight though.
Yes, it was pretty close, I have to say. For some
Was it though the champion of the whole entire thing versus some random guy?
Well, here's the thing, because Yuri gets all cocky and he's like, I can take you down only using one hand.
And
Joe like gets really close to the point where Yuri had to use both hands to block him, and like still took some damage. And he's like, yeah, what's up now, bitch? And then they just kept going at it.
And then Yuri floored his ass. But the whole point of that was, since Yuri is using like Shirado like the latest gear, it's integrated. If you can tell that it's like,
yeah, like I see like the earlier picture posted where like what was his name, Joe, like all his like attachment is like outside,
it's all external.
External, kind of like they're almost like strapped on, while his is kind of like
on his person.
It's almost as if like he doesn't even have like arms. So I'm like, that is his arms.
Yeah, it's like an exoskeleton versus like biomechanical engineering.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like if I had one of those for like my limbs, I feel just for every day, I feel like the power I would feel. I don't know. I just like, oh, let me just like lift this. It's just like maybe it was more like an exoskeleton kind of thing, so like I can just play it off. I'm like, oh no, that's just me, you know. I wear fucking like sleeves. I was like, oh, I'm just like tatted all over, and I just can't show it. And it's just like and I would say like I would never take it off because it's all the tats are like, you know those what are they called? Like the ehegao
Oh
like
my
hentai,
God.
like you know like those jackets you see, but it's just a bunch of those all over like my upper torso.
That sounds terrible.
With like the actual like code numbers on each one.
Oh God, that sounds so terrible.
And I was like, that way like they're so distracted by that they don't think it's an exoskeleton.
I'm
It's giving me-
aging by the minute.
I've lost a few brain cells in the last 2 minutes. They're clinging on to dear life.
So Yuri wipes the floor with Joe, and that inspires Joe to want to get his fake ID and join the
And
actual
join-
Megalo
He wants to fight Yuri on his stage.
on ice.
Ooh, another anime I still need to watch.
You don't.
I want to watch it. I want to see the bromance.
If that's what you want to call it.
It's more like yaoi and yaoi.
So Joe has to start from the bottom.
Yeah, not a yaoi we're talking about. Okay, got
God damn it.
it. Joe's the bottom bitch.
Oh no. It's defaulted into this.
Oh no. Okay. I apologized earlier.
Go on, Jay.
And you see an interesting change in Yuri because now the kind of talk of the town is Joe, and his first fight professionally in the Megaloboxing League is was it against Shark?
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It was against
Shark?
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. And this was and his name goes as Gearless Joe because one,
Yeah.
no gear. Two, he's just training. This is just him without gear.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has like gear that gives them like the strength to kind of just either hit harder, hit faster.
Is it because he can move? He's a little bit more faster and agile without it.
No,
Well-
his gear literally just like gets broken, and
Yeah.
they have no money to replace it. So like, okay, his gimmick will be that he doesn't have gear, because technically there's no rule against it.
Right. This is
Right.
completely legal.
Yeah. So I was like, well, like it's actually more dangerous. But it's like, oh well, it's like that's the gimmick.
But with
Right.
proper training, Joe is able to go toe to toe with people wearing gear, while also working on his physique and his the basics, is your footwork. So he's able to maneuver and basically outpunch all of his opponents up until it's basically all of his fights. They're not necessarily like all blowouts. They're all kind of really close. And I believe his second fight,
I'd imagine they were close. I mean, like, still, he's like fighting at a disadvantage. But,
Oh, yeah,
like,
a
barely
huge one.
winning. So,
oh, absolutely.
so I mean, it's just kind of like he's like giving a handicap, but it's kind of like pushing him to challenge himself, which it's kind of like he's barely, scrapping by.
Yeah.
But just,
Oh.
it's just everybody likes an underdog, so that's why Gearless Joe, like I'm guessing, like catches on, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. and like they show this first fight with Shark, and then like it kind of montages between a couple fights before we like really get the next actual one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think they pick up Sachio. I think after the first fight he has, there's like a little bit of sidetracking.
Is Sachio a guy or Sachio a girl?
Sachio's a
the
guy.
child.
He's a child.
A child.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to tell from the picture. Looks like a little angry old man.
But Sachio is basically an orphan. He is a I'd say a pretty big troublemaker. Got into a bit of trouble of basically stealing like mechanical parts from others in the city and turning them in for like pocket change or candy.
I don't think it was actually candy though.
I don't think it was candy either.
It seemed very much like drugs.
Yeah. But it got labeled as candy.
Yeah.
Maybe who knows? Maybe in the year 2077, candy's like more. It's more hardcore than cocaine.
They kept saying it was red candy, which even sounds like a drug name, and like the kids would take it and then like go into like a trance-like state.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that was just straight up drugs.
Yeah, they gave the kids like LSD. I mean, LCD.
LCD. But basically, at some point, Sachio and a few of his friends end up getting. Well, Sachio ends up getting in trouble for trying to take back something that he found and was kind of pawned, that he kind of got cheated out of with like pocket change for. It was like a prototype for the Shirado, like the current version that he had, and the mechanic that had taken it from Sachio was basically just like, I'm gonna beat your ass. I know you a kid, but can still catch these hands.
You know, it's because they're little kids. You feel like, oh, I'm gonna beat your ass because they literally can.
Yeah, I'm an advocate for beating a child's ass.
I'm a big fan of discipline.
I like how you said discipline with it had a hard accent on the D. Discipline.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, I bet you like the hard D's. Anyway.
Sad. Brought to you by Kawaii P. Morrison. It's a quote right there. It's gonna be the quote. I bet you like hard D's. Kawaii P. Morrison.
That's the description for this episode.
Long story short, Joe ends up fighting I guess he was technically
Like a bodyguard?
like a bodyguard for the mechanic without his gear. And
the kid was the big kid was the bodyguard.
No, the
No.
bodyguard was like beating up the kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where we kind of figure out what Sachio's actually good at. He ended up figuring out from just the sound of the fans in the bodyguard's gear what his finishing blow would be. And from that information, Joe is able to just kind of look like, dodge and basically just counterattack, knock that bodyguard in his ass.
Yeah. Sachio OP needs nerf.
And
from what it sounds like, Sachio is like a mechanic, I guess.
yeah, he ends up joining the group as the information gatherer and chief mechanic. So
I think that's crazy. I don't know. I don't know if they said how old Sasha was, but I mean, like, I wish I was like when I was that kid, like that smart at that age, be able to do that kind of thing. I mean, I think like that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I think when like I was that kid, I was like, oh man, play what do I want to play handball or dodgeball? I'm gonna play both.
Both is good. Well, we fast forward a little bit to, I guess, what his second and third fight I cannot find the
That's because that was
people
part of the
for.
montage.
Right, and then it fast forwards to something very important, actually. The next fight that Joe gets kind of signed up for is against the ranked 17th best in the Megaloboxing League, and he meets with who is it? I call him. He definitely wasn't his manager, but kind of like a bookie. I don't remember. I think he was a bookie,
I wouldn't be
but
surprised. It is boxing. There are
yeah.
bookies.
But basically finds out that the person that Joe's going to be fighting against has been waiting a very long time to do this. Found out that, you know, well, and then he actually finds out who the 17th rank person is. And it was someone from Nambu's past by the name of Aragaki. Aragaki, this episode basically dives into Aragaki's backstory and Nambu and his connection of their past together.
Does he have like a stamp trap on his chest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is not Yuri, but Yaoi, right? Or no?
Keep in mind that Joe is like ranked 102, and this is the 17th rank.
For his like second or for his third or fourth
His
fight.
fourth fight.
Yeah.
Um, is like 102 like the lowest, or like
Not the
many-
lowest. That's just his current rank after his 3 battles.
I see.
I believe
Like,
he
in
got
personal
registered as
battles, right?
279. Something like that.
Okay. And then like I'm guessing in the tournament you have to be above certain rank, or does it not, or is it just anyone?
I think just
Good
anyone can fight anyone else, but only like the top of the top will get into like the big tournament later on.
Mhm.
But like everyone wants a piece of Joe because of his gimmick of no gear and all that.
Yeah. Everybody wants a piece of that Joe.
And basically, um, at the time of this, we find out that Nanbu was an actual boxing, like an actual trainer, and he was training Aragaki at this point in time. Just kind of with the whole teaching the fundamentals to Aragaki, having Aragaki work on that while basically focusing on, it's a little bit of everything actually. It's just like the fundamentals of boxing, footwork's everything, and like
Is that one guy? I already forgot his name. He has no legs. His legs are also
right. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but they ended up training for a little bit, and then basically I don't. I think a draft happens. A war. I know a war ends up happening, and Aragaki is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and take part in this, and I'll be back." And Nanbu's like, I don't really know about this, but I'm gonna let you go anyways. And so Aragaki becomes a soldier. He gets deployed, and he's basically what got me was the whole butterfly thing, and it was kind of weird to me because I couldn't really figure it out.
I'm still thinking of Wyatt P. Morrison's famous quote. Is this abandonment? Oh.
And just like he sees these butterflies at times, and it's the same one over and over again. It's blue with like black like outlines, and it lands on like a body inside the building like he ran inside of, and he went to go check on the person, see if they were okay, and it ended up being like someone holding a fucking bomb. And I was just like, oh, yikes.
Well, okay,
Bomb was, yeah, I was not expecting that. I was just like, oh, he's gonna go help somebody, and then like he turned them over and saw the bomb. He's like, gotcha, bitch. And the bomb goes off.
I
He
remember
basically
we watched, and it looked like a lady laying face down, clutching
with
something.
the baby.
I was like, is she clutching her tit? No, that's a baby. No, that's a bomb.
That's a yeah. I was just like, oh, so this is how this happens.
And then I was
But
making the joke that he like uppercutted the bomb away. That's how he survived.
but he he basically gets blown up, loses his legs, very bad scarring, and was pronounced like either I think it was missing in action at the least.
Oh, they said he was
And
pronounced dead.
oh, he was pronounced dead.
Yeah, and then they found him after.
Yeah. And it was like put on television. Nanbu saw it. He was just like, he had his like mental breakdown. He was just like, damn, I really shouldn't have let him go. Look at him now.
Should have told him how much he meant to me.
Yeah.
My cash
And
cow. No.
and he ended up closing up his gym for good and started moving on with his life. And we kind of fast forward back to the present. Naragaki's standing in front of Nanbu, and he's like, you know, you said one thing to me, and it was like, you always have a home here, and then I come back and you're not there waiting for me like you said. And
Kind of died, bro.
that was my argument. I felt like Nanbu didn't do like, he did the sensible thing, but like I felt like Aragaki definitely blew this kind of out of proportions.
Because
But
I mean, as nice as it would be, it's just kind of like, what do you expect? Like, especially like after you die, or like, especially when people think like you're dead. I was like, do you really think like they're just gonna like keep, you know?
Because
Like,
they put out the report that he was dead, and then when they found him, they never fixed it.
right.
yeah. It's like when when like the news or somebody says they're dead, it's like, oh no, and then like it's like, I think they're still alive.
And then like Nanbu, he just like descended into drinking and gambling, gambled his life away. That's how he gets into the whole like debt thing. So he doesn't even know that he's back, that Aragaki's back and is number 17 because he's just so lost in the life he's made for himself now.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, Aragaki's pretty mad.
Yeah, and basically as like
I too.
a
If I need my legs.
true. And Aragaki says to Nanbu pretty simply, Yeah, I'm just doing this. I've been eager to fight Joe, so I could like just basically just manpull him. I want to destroy all the hard work you put into training Joe, and Nanbu's just like,
But why?
he's just like, oh, okay,
Like Nanbu was so happy to see him back and everything. He's like, I thought you
yeah.
were dead. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh man. Thank you
Aragaki just
so
like,
so much for reaching out so you can help Joe out. He said, no, I'm gonna destroy him. Oh,
oh,
oh.
I'ma destroy him. Like
Okay.
he destroyed me.
If he dies, he dies. Oh.
yeah.
You know what's the worst part
And
though?
it ends like right there.
Yeah, because like the fight doesn't happen until episode 6.
Damn.
But it just kind of ends on that cliffhanger of Joe versus Aragaki,
I
and
wonder
it's like
who
a
would win,
week
though,
before the
like-
fight.
Like who would win? The guy we just learned about or the main character? Damn, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
this one's a hard one for me
Yeah,
too.
this guy has like a big backstory to it. While Joe is like, who's Joe? Joe's just as careless. That's all he is. He's just careless, and he's scrappy. That's it.
I mean,
While this guy
we've
is
gotten
like,
Joe's backstory over the past 5 episodes, basically.
yeah.
And they ended up actually doing pretty well with just panning Aragaki's out in one,
Yeah,
if not two.
yeah. Motherfucker almost committed suicide.
Yeah, he was real fucked up when he got back.
Yeah.
But he did say that just like one thing that he got from Nabu saved him, and it was a dog racing like voucher.
Oh yeah.
It's like a bet
the
that
gambling ticket that he lost
yeah.
on.
He's like, well, this is where I put all the money. I would have taken you out to like for some food, but I gambled it all away.
I feel like if that happened to me, and I was like, there was a picture that would like be there for me, it'd be like a picture of a hey gal girl.
Why?
Why?
That would save me.
Why?
Why? I don't know. Like why is the sky blue? Why does the sun go up every day? Why? I don't know why.
Because of the Earth's
does.
rotation and because it reflects off the water.
That does not sound right. You know, me as a flat earther and all.
Okay. Alright, let's not go there. let's not do this right now.
But that's
No,
that's basically where the 5th episode ends.
Yeah, we watched a little more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even
That's for
before the
you guys to
podcast-
find out.
Before the podcast, I watched like another 2.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was just like,
Pretty good.
I got all the pictures and everything, and I just sat there eating like chips, and I was like, alright. I was like laying in my chair, I'm like,
This shit good.
yeah, those chips were good. Lemon
I
lime.
think I binge watched like the whole thing, like all at once. That's why I don't really. And it's really why like I don't really like remember a bunch of the names or like much because like when I usually like when it's like an anime comes out, like I wait until all the episodes are out and then I binge it in all like in an afternoon.
I can't do that anymore.
I also can't do that anymore.
My spine hurts.
I can't do it as much, so I have to do it in 2 days.
Bro, I'm just sitting here doing nothing, and my knee hurts.
Damn. Old.
But I do want to finish this.
Alright, so that's a continue from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard continue.
I do want to finish it too. I was kind of spoiled on some stuff when I was looking up pictures, so that's not fun, but it's something to look forward to, I guess. It was like some season 2 stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. It does have a season 2.
Yeah, it just came out
Fuck.
either this
It's
year
not
or
out.
late last year.
I think it was this
Wait.
year.
Is the new
Yeah.
season already out?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
I think it's called Nomad.
Yep, and there's a reason for that.
Oh.
Nomad.
Yeah, it's because nobody's mad in that one.
Who's mad?
Everyone's friends.
Interesting.
Hose man. That's
Oh
who's man.
wait, it's like that chibi looking one, right? Or
No,
something?
what? No.
No? No, wait, maybe I remember something wrong.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Maybe. I don't know.
It looks exactly the same as this. It's just further in the future. It's just like
Oh,
a
never mind.
couple year time skip, I think.
Totally remember something wrong.
But yeah, I'd continue this. I really enjoyed this. It wasn't something that I would have picked up on my own, just like scrolling through, because I've heard about this show since it came out, and I was just like, sports anime, whatever, and I just moved on from it. I never bothered. But it was cool. I liked what we saw. I'm definitely gonna finish at least the first season. I'm hearing that like the ending for the first season will make you want to jump into season 2, and apparently season 2 has like one of the best first episodes of an anime ever. So I look forward to that.
I'll be the judge of that.
As far as ratings go, I'd probably say like I'd give it like an 8. I really enjoyed it.
I can second that. Like it has. I don't think it's had a slow point yet though.
In the first 5, no.
Mm,
There has been some stuff that I've seen already that I'm just like, okay, stop talking, just get to the fight. But it's not like super bad.
I give it an 8.
I'd also give it an 8.
You barely remember it. How you gonna give it a rating?
It's because usually, like, if I'm able to binge watch the whole thing, like, especially like back to back, it's because like I'm entertained by it. So like, even if I don't remember as much, like I don't remember like disliking it in any big way. That I guess like it didn't really like bother me. Like it was kind of like the story kind of like draws you in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like time's kind of like going by. So it's like not boring or anything. It's very like entertaining, like the whole concept, and just like how like everything, like the characters and the story, kind of like brings it all together.
Yeah, they do a good job of world and character building.
Yeah, and then to me, that's always like even like no matter how much the graphics is, even though like it looks like 90s graphics, which I appreciate, but it's not like typically something I usually like watch, especially nowadays. Like when like the plot and the characters like draw in, like it like when they're just like that, like it's like I don't know, like that's strong. Like it doesn't really matter what it looks like, because like it's just a good you're just good show to watch.
Yeah. And even with saying that it looks like an older anime, it that's not to say like, oh, it looks old. It's just the style of anime back then is very distinct.
Yeah.
So it looks like a current day anime, but it has an old school style to it, which I can appreciate. And I think the reason that is because apparently the show is actually basically like a futuristic reimagining of like an anime manga that already existed called like Joe of the Future or something like that, and it was just traditional boxing anime. Ashita no Joe. And it's basically the same type of story, but just with regular boxing. There's no, modified attachments, no cyberpunk type stuff.
Yeah.
And it was the 50th anniversary of that series is what made them do this. So it's basically like a cyberpunk reimagining, retelling of that story.
Yeah.
So I guess like the older looking animation is probably an homage to that.
I feel like that's something they don't really do as often. Like a lot, I feel like especially like I don't know, like I feel like there's a lot of like hit and misses. Like not as much as before. With like animes like coming out and showcasing. Like there's some of them that are like that are good. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's like not as good as like before. But like there's still like standalones right now that are doing and mainstream right now. But
You're saying
feel
what,
like
as far
this,
as like
like-
story or for animation?
anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that like we watched Goblin Slayer not too long ago, and like the story of that is great and everything. I loved it, but the thing that kept bugging me was like they'd have these really cool like fight scenes, and then it would show like, you know, Goblin Slayer stabbing a goblin to death, and you know he's drenched in blood and everything, and it's traditional animation, and then he gets up and turn around and it's CG for some reason. Why? Like, it looks so awkward. And it would be just that, like, he would just stand up and turn around. They did nothing else with CG. It's like, what's the point?
I don't remember noticing that, actually. I think I for me, like, it was. I feel like Megalobox, in comparison to that one, like this one stands out more because I guess, you know, like it's like in the name, he's a goblin slayer. So it's just like even the plot in itself, it's not really like, at least like like when I even read the manga for that, and like I haven't read Megaloboxes. I'll probably just watch the anime, but I feel like Megalobox just like compared to that one, like I guess there's, you know, kind of like when you were when Jay was describing what's his name, Akira, the guy in the who lost his legs.
Oh, Aragaki.
Yeah, Aragaki. Yeah. His backstory, like when I found out, I was like, man, it's so tragic. Like, God, like this guy was like, you know, like was gonna be probably like the next Yuri, and then like, you know, I'm gonna do my service, and then like he ends up like, you know, being like life decides to like fuck him over.
Yeah, he picked the wrong tile in Minesweeper.
I hate that. I hated that. It's the one game I've never won to this day a single game to that.
Oh wow.
I to this day I don't know how to play. I think like I put it on easy mode. I just click on randomly a random one and like boom, you won. I'm like, I did. Oh, okay.
You just said you never won though.
Oh yes.
Oh.
I just remembered. I don't count that as winning. I don't think blind luck is winning. and yet, you at a casino, that's what happens.
For anyone who doesn't know, to play that game, you have to click on a tile. It'll tell you a number. That means there's a bomb that many spaces from where you clicked. According to that number, do not click the bombs. So if you click and it says 1, somewhere 1 tile away there's a bomb, so you have to avoid it. So it's like skill and luck.
Did it tell you, like, suppose it's like a 3, does it tell you it's 3 to the right, 3 to the left?
No,
3 to
it's
up?
just 3 from
It's just
wherever
3.
you are.
I see.
But if you click 3, then you know that the very next one is safe because that's 1.
But what if there's like an adjacent bomb where underneath it could be 1 and it's like right above, but it's like adjacent to that one but not like to the other one, so it's not 3 of that one but it's 1 of the one above.
Then you'll probably see like a blue butterfly or something.
There's butterflies. I just remember like bomb and then like an X with like a cross. Like, oh, you lost.
Anyway, so we all agree that we keep watching this.
It went over his head.
It went over his head so hard.
I still don't know. It's the game.
So what rating did you give it? You also gave it an 8, right, James?
It was 8 all around.
All right, so it's an 8.
So just, yeah.
We definitely recommend this anime. It's good. I wouldn't say it's like the most popular thing that I've ever seen ever, which is why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. But it is really enjoyable. I like it, especially I'm not super into boxing or sports anime at all.
Was it that when I don't know what year it came out, but I know that year it was actually the most well talked about anime that year, I think.
I believe so. I remember hearing a lot about it.
Especially like Crunchyroll made a big deal about it. Like they don't usually do that with like especially with like a random anime like Megalobox, and even like to this day, like if you look on like pictures on like Crunchyroll, you would see like the the guy Joe with the with the poster like all like somewhere on Crunchyroll. So
Yeah.
like it did well. Like
Oh yeah,
it did really
definitely.
well. Like especially like since like it literally had no connection with like connection with any other like previous thing like suppose like Gundam, but there's like the Gundams from the 80s to the gun they making another Gundam like that kind of thing. Like there's no actual like big backstory to it, nothing like to draw from, not part from something else. It's just like a standalone, and yeah, like it was one of the few that actually like just like blew out of the water that year. A lot
Yeah.
of people surprised, like, but it was really cool. So like it like I like well, like I said, like I don't remember much of it, but it was a good watch. Like you definitely won't not like it. And I mean, like if you don't like it, I would say it's just because like
Because you have bad
I
taste.
just don't know. I wanted to say that. I just don't know how technical they were like with the actual like the boxing forms. I don't like like some shows kind of like when like they do like martial arts, like they're more specific about like
Oh yeah, I
the
don't think
way-
this gets super technical.
yeah, so
All you ever
like
see
maybe
anyone doing
it'd be
this is
that.
like straight jabs and uppercuts.
Yeah, I would say like that because like if like especially like if uh I don't know if they actually like incorporated like suppose like there was actually like someone who has experience as a coaching for like as a boxer and then being a boxer like a professional boxer, like how like to get into like the mindset or like something like that, that'd be cool. But like I don't remember that in the show, but if they did, that'd be even a bonus.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, so we ready for what we're gonna be watching next week?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Okay. I can wait until you're sure.
I'm sure. I wonder what
It's like
could
the
it be?
teacher sitting in front of the class, like, I'll wait until you're quiet.
It's like the bells for me. I'm like,
I like it's like
I don't think so.
I like I know for a fact if when the bell rings at 3 p.m. I get to go home and you can't do anything about it. What are you gonna do? Like I don't gotta say I can just keep talking. What are you gonna do?
The bell doesn't dismiss you, I do. For next week, I decided this is something I've seen already. I don't remember it, but I remember liking it a lot when I did watch it, so I'm excited to give it another look-see. And it is a little something called Eden of the East.
Oh my god! I actually saw this. I saw all of it. It was good.
I
It was, like,
remember
very
telling
good.
you to watch it back when I saw it.
Did you? Were you the one that told me to watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very good recommendation.
Yeah. So we can look forward to that.
Another. This is I actually know less about this anime. I just remember it was just insane. Like you would have to stay tuned to next week's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say I really thank you, Jay, for hosting, and you, Lizer, sorry, Lizer, for being on here. And yeah, it was really fun being on here. I really like being with you. I hope we get to do this again one day, someday.
Yeah, of course. As long as you're free and you're willing to, I'm glad to have you on here.
Yeah.
So
Now, as far as the anime goes, have you heard of it, Jay?
no,
Oh, okay.
I have no clue what this is.
Ooh.
Oh, right. I think you're in for a treat.
What do you think? Just from the picture, like I would like to hear. So what do you think?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
normally I'd be like, this is like a guy and like that likes being a photographer, and because of the camera, but I could be wrong. But like shit's on fire in the back.
Like 9/11 is happening in the background.
So like it's like fucking it's like Pearl Harbor all over again.
Like they're on their first day taking a selfie.
Yeah, and like I I don't know, but
It's like,
I'll give a quick synopsis just so people can know what they're in tune for next week. But
Yeah.
basically, the main character wakes up one day with amnesia, and he has like this phone that he doesn't know why he has it, but it's connected to basically like this virtual bank account with a virtual like Siri type thing, and he has like $1 billion, and he has to use it how he sees fit. And that's a very, very basic synopsis.
oh, I like free money.
Yeah, but there's repercussions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I might not like free money just yet.
Not quite. I think you'll like it though, honestly.
I think so.
I'm
I can
I'm
always,
down to
like-
like
Sorry, Jay.
yeah, I'm always down to like watch something I've never seen before, so that's just kind of how that goes.
Yeah.
Usually I could tell. I don't know, like usually like when I start an anime, like I look at the cover and like usually like I just go like my main focus is their eyes. Like I feel like like the devil's in the details. So like if I see like the more details there are that they spend on like a certain like scene or like a certain character, like I get a little bit more drawn in, kind of like with like any character from like Kyoto Animations, like how detailed it's kind of like, I don't know, like I always think they're kind of like the Disney of anime in a sense, where there's and then like you can't see it, but you kind of like see it in the animation a little bit. But Kyoto's like almost, at least I think.
Yeah. Alright, well, if that's all, I believe we're done with this episode. So I want to wish everyone a good week coming up. And I'll see you for the next episode. Or I'll see you for my streams if I do those. Well, most likely I'll see you in the next episode. Take care till then. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.